Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in the community, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's financial literacy, the arts, you pick a topic. They're with you shoulder to shoulder. Always a good day when we have on the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, one of our more iconic and stellar nonprofits, and making a return appearance is Chris Cate, President and CEO, longtime community leader, former councilman, and so now running this prestigious organization. Chris, always good to see you. You always have some great content.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I can't have you on enough. Joined by your colleague, Jimena Villaseñor. She is a business programs manager for the Chamber. How you doing, Jimena?
I'm doing well. Great to be here.
How long have you been with the Chamber?
It's going to be 5 years in April.
5 years? Wow. Have you been in the same position the whole?
I have not. I worked my way around a few other positions, so I have a broad perspective of what to cover on today.
Very, very good. How long have you been in San Diego?
Born and raised in San Diego and Tijuana, binational region.
Beautiful.
School here, live over there. It's interconnected.
Where'd you go to school here?
I went to high school to Academy of Our Lady of Peace, and
nice.
Right here in North Park.
OLP.
OLP.
We love them. All right, they've been on the show quite a bit. And did you go to university out here?
I went to community college, to Mesa College and City College.
Our community colleges are absolutely bar none. They are phenomenal. We've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to have the president on, Ashante Hans has been on there. I'm honored to have my colleague from many, many different reasons, Jacob Salata. He is a student, journalism and media studies at San Diego State, is also a host of the campus radio station. I got my degree at San Diego State in journalism before Jacob's great-great-great-grandparents were alive on this. But no, it's great. I'm honored to have a chance to chat with some of the students in Jacob's class. Also, his colleague Allison is sitting in and listening to some of the stuff as well. But Chris, Jacob has a question for you right out of the gate.
Yeah, Chris, as someone that's 21 years young, sorry about that, not my great-grandfather. Just curious, that I'm entering the workforce soon, right? Talk to me about the mission of your organization and what that brings.
Yeah, the mission of the Chamber is to champion business and empower leaders. Yeah. And we're celebrating our 155th year as an organization.
Congratulations.
This year. Thank you very much. In the San Diego region. And really what we're trying to do is to ensure that we have a thriving regional economy here in San Diego. We have over 400,000 businesses in San Diego County, generating over about $270 billion in economic impact throughout the region. So it's a huge number.
Yeah.
The one thing that is, I think, shocking to folks when they find out from a data standpoint is that in San Diego, there's only 1% of all those businesses have more than 250 employees. So 98% or so of our businesses in San Diego County are small businesses. Wow. And we have a very entrepreneurial mentality here in San Diego. And for us, it's important to foster that and allow for our small business owners to create, to thrive, to expand. We love our homegrown talents and those stories of homegrown success. And that's what we're trying to do as a chamber. And kind of a spinoff of that I don't want to leave behind as well is that the empowering leaders portion of our mission we have a separate nonprofit under the chamber umbrella, which is Lead San Diego, and this is really an opportunity for us to generate the next generation of leaders in San Diego, to learn about our regional economy, give them the tools and assets and skill sets to be our next generation of leaders and really take us to the next generation.
So, sorry, real quick. You have so many businesses, right? And out of curiosity, what industries are the fastest growing, especially here locally?
Yeah, great question. So from a chamber standpoint, we have over we have about 2,000 members that service over 80 different industries.
Wow.
So we have a huge diverse set of members. But when you look at kind of where we're going as a region, some of the top spaces that we are leading in is the biotech life science space. Okay. Defense is a huge one as well. And then we're also seeing the growth of AI as well too. And so you're seeing a lot of focus in these areas. But we have other areas that are really driving our economy, especially our military. The military defense spending is a huge driver of our region, and we can't lose sight of the jobs that generates as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Chris knows, I've been heavily involved with the San Diego Military Advisory Council for, almost since its inception over there. And of course, they just came out with their military economic impact report, close to, $70 billion in indirect spending and, close to $38 billion in actually direct spending. So you're so spot on, on this aspect of it. But I really want to, chat, really put on what Chris had just talked about, Jimena, and you addressed this too. Small businesses are always the bread and butter of whether it's a large metro like San Diego or you're a small town. Talk about how important it is to nurture those businesses and support them.
Definitely. As Chris mentioned, I mean, we are a membership-based organization, and we recognize that small businesses make up the majority of our membership, not only within our network, but also within our community. So we are really focusing on creating those programs, creating that support that these small businesses need, no matter the industry, no matter the sector. And we're doing this on behalf of our outreach with our direct members, whether it be surveys to really gather that data on what challenges and obstacles they are currently facing. So we've also are currently leveraging existing partnerships with Google or Meta to really enhance those programs. They have a Make AI Work For You workshop series that we will be partnering with them again this year to recognize that AI is something valuable to the small business community and make sure that the small businesses get the tools that they need. We have other partnerships that we've recently fostered, thanks to Chris as well, with the local SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, just leveraging the partnership and making sure that we offer our members and just to the broader community through our multiple communication tools, communication efforts, the resources that they also offer, and just really enhance that collaboration between us organizations.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well stated on this. And I'd be remiss, Jacob has another question for you on this, Jimena, and you can jump in on it too, Chris. But mentioned Lead San Diego. I've been lucky to be involved with it literally since 1995. Of course, it's been around a lot longer than that. I'm dating myself on all the folks that I've worked with on this, for God's sake. But Chris is so spot on. We want to make sure that our leaders, young and veteran and so forth, I don't mean necessarily military veteran, I mean, seasoned, are staying here in San Diego. We love the fact that here you are, Jimena, you have stayed in San Diego. We're using your brain power in this aspect of it. Chris, talk about that before I toss it over to Jacob. We know we have some great universities. We have unbelievable community colleges and pretty good K-12 system as well. How important is it to have our brain trust stay here?
It's incredibly important. And when you look at talking about the universities, whether it's the community colleges or our four-year institutions, the demand, the applications that are constantly increasing, there's too many applicants, right, for the spaces that we have.
Right.
And so there's demand here for San Diegans, but it's difficult. It's difficult to stay here. I'm also a native born San Diegan, And just from a family perspective,
not too cheap.
It's not. My sister left for college and she just came back, and she had to live in the Midwest and on the East Coast and other areas before she was able to come back and afford a place to live here. And we don't want that. So we want the next generation of folks to stay here. Also because of the need for qualified employees to be here for our business owners as well too.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Jacob, we got a question for Jimena?
Yeah. Especially with we talk about small businesses really driving a big metro here in San Diego, right? I just wanted to, out of curiosity, if you could talk me through the small business resilient workshops that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, definitely. So us at the Chamber, we really collaborate with our local, state, and federal agencies, elected officials, representatives, you name it. So we are really fortunate enough, and through our hard work, that we get direct contact with the resources that are out there that maybe small businesses don't have the time to really take a deep dive and look into them. So we try to provide a platform to promote these resources that enhance small business resiliency, hence the title of the program.
Yep.
In addition to that, we also like to have these conversations in a timely manner. Our next one coming up is on important tax considerations and strategic planning around this space. Considering it's spring, everyone's thinking about that right now. So we really want to provide a timely conversation on that. And if it's maybe too late for some of them, maybe to start preparing for the next year as well.
Yeah.
I think what's so critical about that, and we're chatting with Jimena Villaseñor. She's the business programs manager for the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, joined by her colleague, the president and CEO of the Chamber, Chris Cate. I think when you have 2,000 plus members, overwhelming majority, of course, a small business on it, and anybody who is an entrepreneur and has started a small business turns around and goes, wait a second, it's me. Where's all the help? So they can come to you folks, whether it's AI or whether it's learning how to do loans or, health benefits and all that is just absolutely, invaluable, to say the least on this. So Chris, I'll start with you on this, and Jimena, you can, add to it. And you mentioned the different sectors. Obviously biotech is huge here. And as, some people call us Silicon Valley of the South. I think we're just San Diego. That's what we are, San Diego County, as Chris Wells know, in this area. But how do you folks get in touch with these businesses? Obviously, there's more than 2,000 small businesses here in San Diego County. Can other businesses, if they're not a member of the Chamber, get involved in those workshops?
Yeah, one of the things that Jimena mentioned was the partnership with the Small Business Development Center, and a lot of, I don't want to say they're the best kept secret, but they're a huge resource for small businesses because they're free. These are free trainings and workshops that are paid for by us as taxpayers and funded through the Small Business Administration, SBA, at the federal level. We want to be able to promote that to all of our members. And you made a great point, Drew, a second ago, and that's, if you're a small business owner, who do I go to, where to call it? And one of the things that we were very focused on as a team when I came on and really looked at our core values as an organization. And the one thing that we stated and we are really impressing upon our members that we are the go-to. We want to be the go-to for any question that a small business owner has. It could be, where do I go for permits? How do I go into procurement or contracting? What do I do about AI? Whatever the question is, we at the Chamber want to be your first call. We may not know the answer, but we're going to get you the answer and support you in what you're doing. Because as you stated eloquently, is that, we are San Diego, we're made up of these small businesses. We want to support them. That's our job as a Chamber, and to align these free workshops as well too. Even if you're not a member, we want to support you and make sure that you're successful.
Yeah. And then once they see the value of that, you're going to become a
you
member.
got it.
Yeah. Without question. We're going to be right back with Chris Cate, President and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, joined by his colleague, Jimena Villaseñor, Business Programs Manager. I'm Drew Schlosberg at Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, joined by my co-host, Jacob Saletta. He is a San Diego State senior in journalism and media studies, also is a host of the campus radio station, and we will be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things in the community. Always great to have Chris Cate and his colleagues on. He's the president and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, joined by Jimena Villaseñor, business programs manager, and joined by my co-host, Jacob Saletta. You brought up a good point, Jacob, on this. We can't do enough for all of the folks, of course, who live in our region, but especially the students that are going to be graduating and looking at the workforce. Chris, you talk about this as well, and you can add to it, Jimena. Making sure we're providing these opportunities for entrepreneurism is obviously right up your alley as well. Talk about that.
Yeah. An interesting statistic that I came across is that following COVID, there was a 112% increase. Excuse me, 112% increase in new business startups, especially in the micro business side, which is the kind of 2 employees or so, or entrepreneurs. And I think you've seen a lot of universities as well too, kind of geared towards that. San Diego State has a great program for entrepreneurs and accelerator program as well too, to get capital, financing, support, all these things. And that's what I love about this community, is that we are doing what we can to support all these folks who want to be their own boss and become business owners and entrepreneurs, and we have to be there to support them as well too, because when you are an entrepreneur, there's so much that you have to do. You are everything, right? You're responsible for everything, and it's difficult to know how to deal with finances and permitting and licensing and all these other things.
That's a good point. I mean, I became an entrepreneur in 2006, and then formed my own business, or another business in 2012. And you go, well, I guess I'm into it. I better start learning how to do this stuff real fast. And it's amazing how many people want to support you on that. And I mean, it's something that Chris talked about, and Jacob, I know you're just going to be getting into the workforce, and yeah, you are already currently working, of course, we know that, but San Diego is the smallest big town in the history of humankind. Chris, you and I have talked about before in this aspect of it. But I mean, talk about how people actually want other folks to succeed. With the chamber, these businesses want to work with each other because this person's success means it's our success. Talk about that.
Exactly. That's very important. It's something that's always brought up in the dialogues and the multiple platforms that we put on how businesses recognize that if a sector succeeds, the other sector will probably as well. And not only when it comes to industries, but also between cities, right? San Diego, other cities around the county, and even cities across the border. So we have this present in our day-to-day advocacy efforts. I previously served in our public affairs team as well, which is highly important for the advocacy work that we do in the local, state, and federal level, making sure that issues like affordability are addressed, anything else related to the success of the cost of doing business as well. That's very important when it comes to our trips up to our capitals, Sacramento, Washington, D.C., and also on our trips to Mexico City. So we try to address our region's priorities as a whole and represent the business community as one.
And with this, Chris knows this because, and you do too, Jimena, having been around, and Chris has been a long-time community leader, certainly in many different fronts. But, if you, I've been using this phrase, if you work in a silo alone, you'll die in that silo alone. Simple as that. Chris, you guys and you personally, this is just who you are. And obviously you can just hear that it oozes out of Jimena as well. We want to collaborate. Okay. Yeah. Because it may not benefit us right now at the chamber, but it's going to benefit something down the road. And you guys are so well connected. I could spend the next 45 minutes just talking about all the groups you're connected with, no pun intended, connect, the regional EDC, the other chambers of commerce, the universities. You guys are great at that.
Yeah. And it's incredibly important. As you mentioned, it's funny. We just had lunch, all of these groups just had lunch together to talk about how do we coordinate and make sure we're all rowing in the same direction as a team, right? Whether it's the Tourism Authority or the EDC, the Downtown Partnership, Biocom, you name it. What are the priorities? What are we focused on? What are the headwinds that we all need to come together and discuss and try to strategize about this? Obviously, there are a lot of challenges right now that we're seeing, whether it's affordability issues or kind of the issues of healthcare, what you name it. But we're always trying to work together. That's from a very high level standpoint because of our organizations are very high level and broad, but even down to the business level too. The work we're doing with our networking events, we're constantly trying to figure out how to support one another, have business support one another, and connect and referrals and clients and you name it. So it's definitely about that collaboration aspect to try to make sure there's success in the region.
Well, and you guys do, and there's just no question about that. And I think, for young folks like, Jacob, who's just going to be graduating, and of course we heard from Megan and Allison as well, to know there are people that are going to embrace you and make you feel that you belong is just huge, especially when you have the experience that you have, Chris, of course, and you as well, Jimena. Nothing more than a door being opened and someone wants to help you. You brought up something that I think is great. We all know that in this day and age when people are cutting staffs and then you have to sit there and try to find a live person, no matter what the issue is, you want to do a swan dive off of the Coronado Bridge. But you guys have answers. And so if somebody needs to know, how do I get this permit? How do I get this license? Who do I talk to with P&Ls? You guys are going to get that answer. That is huge to know you're going to get an answer and not be on hold for 4 days. Talk about that.
Yeah, it speaks to, again, what our values are as an organization. And the one thing that I would be remiss to say too is having been in this position now for only 7 to 8 months now, so still relatively new, haven't crossed the 1 year threshold yet. But on my list, we talk about collaboration as well too. Is also how do we partner with our smaller local chambers as well too? That's like additional access to these small business owners who again may not have the ability to be a member of our organization, knowing that our due structure is different than a smaller chamber, but still these smaller businesses are producing for our regional economy, and they're part of their local chambers and benefiting their own communities, which is great. But it's really incumbent upon us as a chamber, a regional chamber, to work in collaboration with these smaller chambers and figure out where we can support and help, and give them access to these resources as well too. That they just may not have the staff or the ability to do so. And it's not us trying to compete with them, but how do we collaborate with them?
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, Haley's going to hate me for this because I'm going to have Chris on every single day for that second talking about Haley Martin, communications director as well. But you mentioned the small chambers. We're laser beamed on that. As you know, I'm involved with the Classroom of the Future Foundation, which is all about careers and, pathways and so forth. And we're going to have our good friend, Chris Thorne, going to be presenting at our summit next week. And just a great guy, 800 plus businesses at the North San Diego Business Chamber. And that is so great. So somewhere down the road, we'd want to get you to come back on, Chris, and focus on the educational aspect of pathways as well. Jacob, I know you have a question for both Chris and Jimena.
Yeah. I'm just curious, what can our wonderful Spotlight listeners do to support the chamber?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, really keeping up, I think this is also from a personal level, keeping up with local news, local politics when it comes to our regional economy, that's very important. And again, as we are the regional chamber, we're not industry specific. We're not city or city specific, even county specific. We really rely on the direct communication from whether it be business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders in the community who can shed light on certain topics that we may not be focusing at the moment. We can only cover so much, so we really rely on the expertise of industry leaders to shed light on those challenges that the chamber could address in our advocacy efforts or implement into our programming to make sure that the regional business needs are being addressed.
Yeah, and I'll just say as well too, and piggyback on that's incredibly important is to know what we're saying. You got to sign up. So visit our website, sdchamber.org. We have a number of different communication platforms to hear us and what we're offering as an organization. But also too, if you are a business owner and just want to take us out for a test drive, reach out to one of our membership individuals, and our managers, and come to an event. We're happy to host you at an event and just see what you're in for. Our anniversary celebration dinner every year, we have 900 people who attend this dinner. So it's a great networking opportunity as well too, but we have all those throughout the year.
Yeah, Chris, I think this is a really rare opportunity for someone that's 21 years old to be sitting in front of a CEO of an organization so big. And I think it's a pretty simple but basic question, but very important. Do you have any advice for somebody like me who's going to be entering the workforce in, scary enough, 4 months?
Yeah. Yes. Success and gratification does not happen overnight.
Okay.
It's hard work. It takes dedication. You will hear the word no a lot, and that's okay. It's something that I've heard plenty during my career as well too. And
it never stops, by the way, Chris.
But it's taking that as a learning ability. The one thing that we're trying to impress upon too with our members, who we do get some members that we have to educate them on, is that they think they can become a member and then instantly you're going to get 5 new clients or 5 new accounts or whatnot. And that just doesn't happen. It takes time. And we spoke to this earlier. It's when you are supporting others and celebrating other successes, that success will come to you as well too.
Incredible.
So just be patient. It's okay to fail. It's an opportunity to build upon that and learn from it and grow. And that gratification will come.
And I got to add something to this. Be remiss if I didn't do that. Again, oozes out of both, Chris and Jimena. It's all about relationships. It is always about relationships. And it's that person that Jimena might have met at Mesa College that, I lost contact. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize you're working for the chamber doing this important business programs manager. And hopefully it's a good relationship in this, because that's going to open a door on this. Chris, you've only met 4 billion people over your lifetime, especially the city councilman and certainly now in this role. But it is. You want to work with those people you have relationships with. So I would encourage everyone, take Chris up on this, and Jimena, you want to come and do a test drive of the chamber, they'll get you into a mixer, and now you can see what we do. It is the most valuable thing, especially in the town that we were just talking about. We are absolutely the smallest big city in the history of humankind. Anyone who spent any time here, it's amazing how many folks you run into. I do it only because I'm 105 years old, but Chris knows some of the work that I've been doing, of course, not just me, everybody else in there. And it makes a difference to pick up the phone call and say, hey, Chris, could you do me a favor? Could you meet with Phil Blair on X, Y, and Z? Guy runs Manpower and so forth. That is so important. So it's all about relationships.
Connections.
It absolutely is. Chris, Cate, always a pleasure having
Thank you
in. We want you back in sooner than later.
Happy to do it.
Well, the content is just so huge, and you just can't continue to talk about that.
Thank you.
Amanda, what a pleasure meeting you as well. This won't be the
Likewise.
last time you'll be on as well, and thank you for all the great things you do for the chamber, of course, from our county and our city and everything in between. And Jacob, you are now 5 for 5.
Let's go.
You're batting 1,000. You got one more to go over here. You've been listening to another Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. I'm very proud of it on our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of just doing spectacular work for so many different areas with so many people in San Diego County. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.